All right, I have demated all connectors and stowed them back. Copy, Oleg. This is great. Then you can connect the cable to hydraulic connector. And as you see, we don't want you to have to hold one cable. Right, so you want me to go back to Pyotr, following the same route, right? Yes. It may actually be easier for you to reach from that location. Yes, I will free up the cable and see how to get to Pyotr best. Maybe backtrack as you got to DC-1. You would grab the reel. Okay. And please disconnect the red right now so that you could reach. What do you want me to do? Disconnect the red and start with the cable attachment, and then you can proceed with the other key connectors.
Pyotr, как у тебя сейчас?
Pyotr, how goes it?
Неважно. Забраться сюда просто невозможно.
Not so well. It's a mission impossible to get in there. If I could move a little bit up there, then maybe, but I can't really move it or fold it away, neither with my sleeve nor with my helmet, and I cannot get to the work area. All right, take a break. Maybe if it had a spring, I would have been able to push it to the side. All right, well, Oleg is working on the high-frequency cable. And you can proceed with the connectors.
хоть бы какой-нибудь поручень.
Maybe at least one handrail?
Олег, ты оцениваешь, как тебе перейти лучше?
Oleg, what's your assessment of the situation? We can actually move over to the boom and then throw the cable over. And the handrails are pretty small. S31 would be the cable. Okay, sounds good. All right, I got the extra length of the RVP 971 connector. We copy. And I am starting with disconnecting. Disconnection of the connectors and cables. Copy. Copy. Pyotr. Go ahead.
У тебя опять очень низкая температура на входе в код, ты опять там замерзнешь. У тебя 11 градусов.
The temperature
Может быть, даже в 0 поставь на какой-то.
for your suit is pretty low yet again. Just to warm it up, set it at 0.
Да, а то еще тень к тому же.
Will do, because it's not even night yet. Yeah, it's not cold. I don't feel that it's cold at all.
Олег, в этом месте
Oleg,
взгляд бухту положить поверх вот этих кабелей.
maybe you can put the coils
Попробовать под ними.
above these cables or try under these.
Конечно,
А его же вроде
под них
под какую-то
прокинуть.
по-моему, под вот эту укладывать.
They should have been under here, correct?
Не.
Они вообще даже
Белый.
туда в сторону Петра.
They should be towards Pyotr, correct?
Петра идут, а потом еще там расходятся направо.
Yes,
Большой диаметр.
towards Pyotr, then to the right, towards the large diameter.
Сможешь ту бухту с 4 разъемами
Maybe that cable coil with 4 connectors
вот где
that you are toting, maybe you can put it under these cables that you're holding. Under cables or
кабелями.
under handrail? Both.
А я немножко не пойму. Ее
It's not clear. So do I put it in the cable holders or under the handrail? Which is it?
не приняли.
We did not read you, which is typical.
Как ты там? Пытаюсь.
Okay, are you trying? I'm trying to demate the first connector. It did twist.
А вот расстыковываться не хочет.
It does not want to be demated.
Нет, вращается достаточно свободно.
Is it twisting loosely? Yes, it is, but it doesn't want to be released.
Отдохни чуть-чуть.
О, тут Москвы.
Moscow.
Слушаем, Олег.
Yes, Oleg.
Я не понял, что вы хотели, как проложить кабели, вы просите.
Please clarify how you want me to route the cables between the handrails close to the structure.
Между поручнями, ближе к корпусу.
Yes, between,
Ага, теперь понял, хорошо.
so beneath the handrails, closer to the structure of the station. Okay, now it's clear, and I will try to comply.
восток Москвы для Олега.
Moscow station for Oleg. Go ahead, Oleg.
Разрешите страховочными фалами,
May I use my safety tethers
потому что здесь сейчас тяжело идти с кабелем.
to secure to the handrail?
Лично. Просто чтобы карабины там не под мишень сильно не подклинили.
I will just try to keep the hooks out of the way. And the orange tether. Copy.
Я сделал держатель, чтобы не улетать из рабочей зоны.
I now secured the cable holder for myself, so I don't have to leave the work site.
Pyotr. Ты отдохни, пожалуйста.
Okay, please rest
А пока расскажи, к другим разъемам такой доступ у тебя возможен?
and tell us which connectors are easy for you to access.
This is Mission Control, Houston, 4 hours, 17 minutes into this morning's spacewalk. Cosmonauts Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov making their way through the timeline as they continue disconnecting antenna cables from the Pirs docking compartment and reconnecting those cables to hardware on the Zvezda service module associated with the Corps' automated rendezvous system. This all part of the decommissioning of the Pirs, which was launched in September of 2001 as a Russian vehicle docking port and airlock for Russian-based spacewalks. Pirs will be undocked via the ISS Progress 77 cargo ship that is currently attached to Pirs on the Earth-facing port of the Russian segment of the station, and Progress's engines then will be used to deorbit Pirs, sending both Progress and Pirs into the Earth's atmosphere where they will burn up harmlessly over the Pacific Ocean. That will all occur just a few days after the launch of the brand new Naoka multipurpose laboratory module, the MLM, that has been under construction and is now in final integrated testing at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. It will launch on a Proton rocket from Baikonur no earlier than mid-July on an 8-day trip. It will take that long to phase to the International Space Station, where Russian flight controllers will have a long opportunity to check out its systems and declare it healthy before Naoka makes an automated docking to the same Earth-facing port to which the Pirs docking compartment is currently attached.
And I can see the rubber seal. It is looking nominal, and no debris, no foreign debris. Okay, these are mated, these connectors. Copy.
О, есть.
I have it. 971 connector is now mated. We copy. Water relief. Now connector HFP97. And this is 9-5 connector. HFP97 complete. And another HFP97, the two of the same kind. Copy. HFP97 is also mated. The tab is closed. Copy. Now HFP9-7 is left. HFP96. I can see the labeling. And also I can see one of those that are 9-5. Okay, no, now 6-1 is done.
The two cosmonauts who began the spacewalk at 12:53 a.m. Central Time, 1:53 a.m. Eastern Time, are in the process of mating cables to connectors along the transfer compartment of the Zvezda service module. Again, these are antenna cables that were disconnected from the Pirs docking compartment as it is being decommissioned for its forthcoming disposal later this summer. These cables associated with the Corps' automated rendezvous system and the future arrival of the Naoka multipurpose laboratory module to be launched on a 3-stage Proton rocket from the Baikonur Cosmodrome.
ISS-9.
The International Space Station moving from southwest to northeast over the South Atlantic, about to cross into an orbital sunrise.
Estimated.
Принято.
Copy. Nine five. Looking for 9-5.
Есть FP95 тоже состыкован.
FP9-5 is also mated. And in the Lirka clips. Copy.
Теперь самое хитрое.
Now comes the tricky part.
Сколковый отражатель не дает рукой надавить.
This angle reflector is in my way. I cannot apply enough pressure on the connector, so it enters the Lirka clip.
Oleg, ты рядом?
Oleg, are you here? Are you close? Yes.
Еще одна попытка.
Okay, I'll give it one more try.
А если надо что-то помочь?
You need assistance, Pyotr? Well, not really.
Если только ты смог, может, как-то вот уголковый отражатель, который у меня за правым плечом, как-то, может, временно
Unless you could
не получится.
move the angle reflector somewhere that's on my right shoulder side.
Я не могу ее расположить и под нее залезть.
See, there is a spring here.
Придержать, то есть там без защелок, без ничего, просто ее нажимаешь.
If I could just press on it, then it would collapse on itself. I'm not sure I can do anything about the reflector.
Нет, там центральная часть, уголок, он, видишь, подпружиненный.
I see the central part is on a spring. Be careful with the reflector because your suit is pretty close to it.
Вот, я стараюсь так.
Well, there are no sharp edges there.
Как-то убрать. А я сюда так туловище не залезу. Не получится, да? Нет.
I don't think I can enter there with my whole hut.
Я тоже сейчас не знаю, как я буду вылазить.
And I'm not sure how I'm going to exit here. Victory. I collapsed the spring for you on the reflector. And now immediately I have some room. So now I can move myself more freely. When I'm almost done, now you collapse that reflector spring. Where were you before? Okay, the mated connectors are now placed in the Lirka clips. Copy. Now the high frequency connectors, guys. This is your last task for here. That should be easier. Yes, the time is coming for course testing pretty soon. You should be done soon. So what is our next activity? Mate the high frequency connectors that are now on the plate. Okay, I see them. I open the flap. And Oleg, if you could move some items under my left hand. Okay, I can see the connectors now. They're labeled HFP 9-9, 9-10, 9-11, 9-12. Okay, now you're red. Maybe we can secure some items on it. And I will see if I can move things freely under here. Wait, I'm stuck here somewhere. All right, it's secured. Now let me pull the tether through. This is the maximum of length I can give you. Is that sufficient? Yes, and I even have some margin in here. Pyotr, start from the edge and go towards the center with the connector mating. No, you must start from either edge as long as you start from one of the edges, not from the middle. Moscow, this is Oleg. Go ahead. The circular handrails around the service module. I used a wire tie to secure my tether on one of them. Yes, it shouldn't be in the way of Pyotr's activity of mating the high-frequency connectors. So please secure your tether as well as you can. Copy.
конечно, нужный будет крайний, четвертый.
Of course, what I need is the one on the edge.
Так, нашел раздел ФП.
Okay, I found it. The connector.
More than 4.5 hours into this morning's spacewalk, Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov working in tandem to continue mating connectors for the core's automated rendezvous system antennas. Those cables were disconnected from the Pirs docking compartment a short time ago and were rerouted to be mated to the what's known as the transfer compartment, the ball-shaped transfer compartment at the Zvezda service module. The core's automated rendezvous system basically is comprised of an active system for approaching vehicles and a passive system on the Zvezda that beam radio signals back and forth to provide the approaching visiting vehicles' computers with range information and rate of closure. The Pirs docking compartment is being disconnected and basically placed in a decommissioned state in preparation for its undocking and disposal later this summer following the launch of the Naoka multipurpose laboratory module that will lift off no earlier than mid-July on a 3-stage Proton rocket from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. Earlier in today's spacewalk, the two cosmonauts replaced an aging fluid flow regulator panel on the Zarya module and retracted the Strela telescoping boom, disconnecting it from the Pirs docking compartment and stowing it on the Poisk module, which now serves as the primary docking port and airlock for Russian-based spacewalks, until the time that the multipurpose laboratory module is fully operational following its arrival at the International Space Station. There will be a number of Russian spacewalks to hook up electrical and telemetry cables and other systems to the MLM, as it is known, or the Naoka, the Russian word for science, once it arrives for an automated docking to the Earth-facing port of the Russian segment of the station.
Какие трудности?
Okay, I have the connectors on the edge. They are snug to the MLI and to the wires, and it's not easy to align them properly along their axis.
9 стал, я понял, да?
Okay, so HFP99 connector. The connector HFP991 is mated. Copy. And I have number 10 also. And Oleg is saying, I'm going to secure a cable and get closer to Pyotr.
Есть следующий состыкован.
I have the next connector mated
Состыковал.
completely.
Так, следующий разъем 11.
Next is HFP9-11 connector.
Так, что за помочь? Стал 2 разъема состыковать.
Okay, how can I help? And connector mating.
Только меня немножко придержать. Сейчас.
Hold me so I don't fly away.
Прижать к разъему, да? Да, вот чуть-чуть в сторону ног меня немножко сдвинуть.
Move me down a little bit in the direction of my feet.
О, так, отлично.
This is good.
Так, есть еще один состыкован.
One more connector is mated and secured.
Я тут носит всего. Может, как-то ногами тебе попробовать подержать.
Maybe I should hold your feet
О, вот так, нормально?
like this.
Отлично. Ага, и мне так удобно.
Very good. And it's convenient for me also.
Меня вешают по силу. Почти попал.
I'm almost there. I almost made it in.
Все, все 4 высокочастотных.
Okay, all 4 high frequency connectors are mated.
Принято.
Copy.
ХПП 9-12, верно?
The last one was XFP12, correct?
Замечательно.
That's true.
Сейчас отдохните, ребята.
Okay,
Буквально минуту.
rest a couple of minutes.
4 hours, 44 minutes into the spacewalk, Novitskiy and Dubrov reporting that all of the high-frequency cables for the Corps' automated rendezvous system that were disconnected from the Pirs docking compartment have now been connected to new connector panels on the transfer compartment of the Zvezda service module. This is a temporary installation. The path of this Corps' automated telemetry will be checked out with the Soyuz MS-18 spacecraft that Novitskiy, Dubrov, and NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hei launched on back in April.
Maybe I should travel back, this is Oleg, to demate the low frequency connectors. I guess we're not being heard. Yes. And plate 9 can be covered with MLI flap unless you want to wait until later. I'm sorry, we didn't hear you for a while. Oleg, I am telling you that we'd like you to stay where you are and not go back to SM because we're preparing to send the commands to high-frequency cables between 10:30, 10:51 and 10:53. Guys, just stay put, okay? Standing by for the words. Guys, we have good 20 minutes until eclipse. The Corps' test will take place in 10 minutes. So we're all good. We're all set. And then once we're done with this task, we'll pick up with the rest of the timeline. Okay, that's clear now.
Я за спиной пока. Ага. А я думаю, что мне мешает дойти? Не надо. Вроде там космос, ничего не должно быть.
Yeah, I'm translating just freely. There's really nothing but space in our way. This is a much easier translation path than where I was stuck before.
So with all of the core's automated antenna cables having been disconnected from the Pirs docking compartment and hooked temporarily to other connectors on the Zvezda service module, the two cosmonauts are going to spend a few minutes taking a breather before pressing ahead to the remainder of their work, which will include the removal of a gap spanner from a spacewalk ladder that was used to connect the Pirs docking compartment with the Poisk module, the airlock from which they emerged almost 5 hours ago to begin this morning's spacewalk. The plan continues to call for the jettisoning of a container housing the old fluid flow regulator that was removed from the Zarya module early in the spacewalk today and replaced with a brand new unit, and the exchange of two sets of material science and microbiological payload canisters, one called the test payload and one called Venislavost, which is the Russian word for endurance, that will be housed on the outside of the Poisk module.
Can you go over the Strela boom using a hook on your tether and the ring on the Strela? I would think so. Then, Pyotr, this is your shortest and fastest path.
Oleg,
and you can approach the container from the other side, right? Yes, we're getting there slowly but surely.
Так, ну вот я нахожусь в зоне досягаемости карабина.
Okay, this is Pyotr reporting. I am in the area of approachability to the hook. Oleg.
Когда будешь готов, перестраховать.
Go ahead and rehook the tether that you have right now on the container. Once you let us know that the new hook has been installed and secured on your side of the container, then Pyotr will do the same on his side. Pyotr, do you have a hold of it? I'm sort of not letting it go, but not specifically have a good hold on it. I hear you, Moscow. That's why I'm asking Pyotr if he has got a hold on it before I rehook.
Just a few minutes shy of the 5-hour mark in this morning's spacewalk. Novitskiy and Dubrov are in the process of releasing the temporarily stowed container housing the old, now discarded fluid flow regulator unit that was removed from the Zarya module early in the spacewalk today and replaced with a new unit. It's in that container right over Dubrov's head along the side of the Poisk module. It will be jettisoned aft of the Zvezda service module with no potential for recontacting the International Space Station.
So do I install the new one first and then remove it completely? Moscow for AV2.
Да, Петр, если слышишь нас, то...
Yes, Pyotr, if you can hear us. You remove the hook from the safety tether completely from the container. And then once you get closer to the hatch, we'll take it back in.
Oleg, а ты уже поднимайся.
Oleg, it's time for you to climb up to the operator post. Keep pulling the airtight container towards yourself. I understand. I was just kind of helping Pyotr while he was rehooking his tethers on the other side to hold on to the airtight container. I've got a hold on it. You've got a hold on it. Copy. I'm going to take it, and now I'm going to let it go. The handrail between you and me, it looks circular or loopy. Nope. That's not going to work. You can leave the adjustable tether hook on the ring. That's what I'm trying to do. And then for the short tether to be secured on the other side. Actually, this is Oleg. I wouldn't say this body position is too bad. Right, so as we agreed, you are going to get to the handrail, get a full control of the airtight container, select a pose for jettison in the right direction, and once you think you're ready, you tell Pyotr, and he will unhook his tether from the other end that's holding it up right now on the station side. Yeah, I know the drill. I'm just trying to assess how good this position is, the stability-wise. I don't even think I need the foot restraint. It's pretty good.
We've crossed the 5-hour mark in this morning's spacewalk, standing by for the jettisoning of the airtight container that houses the discarded old fluid flow regulator unit that was removed and replaced in the Zarya module earlier in the spacewalk today.
Short tether is going to be long enough. There aren't enough handrail lengths. But I think I'm as ready as I will be. So go ahead and demate that hook on your end, Pyotr. Okay, it's the hook is removed. And loop it onto something so you can hold me stable. Stand by. This is really not too convenient. Okay, if I jettison it in that direction, do you think it's going to go where we want it to go? At about 60 degrees. Yeah, I see that it's a good trajectory. Solar array clear. I'm trying to...
We're about to regain our communications through the tracking and data relay satellite system, including downlink TV, as we await the jettisoning of this container that houses the discarded fluid flow regulator unit removed from the Zarya module early in today's spacewalk.
We're not getting video yet, but we copy your report that it's been jettisoned.
And the cosmonauts report that they have jettisoned the container. You now can see it as it moves away from the International Space Station aft of the Zvezda service module. This trajectory designed to prevent any potential for recontacting the station.
So I didn't want to hit it. Copy. Oleg, can you tilt your head a little bit so we can see the view? And we just got the video back.
Молодцы. По-моему, вполне больше километра в секунду.
Good job. I think you made a separation rate just as we asked.
Here in Mission Control, the Trajectory Operations Officer reports a good jettisoning of the container that houses the discarded fluid flow regulator unit removed earlier this morning from the Zarya module. While this is going on, Russian flight controllers reporting that the testing of the repositioned and reconnected CORS automated rendezvous antenna cables is underway to ensure good connectivity. Those CORS cables removed from the soon-to-be decommissioned Piers docking compartment and reconnected to temporarily to connectors on the transfer compartment on the Zvezda service module.
The tethers that were holding the container next to the EV hatch. Copy. I have one on me, and we're going to put one on the handrail next to the EV hatch. Copy. I am next to the EV hatch. Please make sure you have your hook closed. Yes, there was a small confusion. Pyotr. For now, Go ahead, Moscow. This is Pyotr.
Добавь себе немножко охлаждения.
Could you increase your cooling a little bit?
Ты ставишь.
You're currently at 0. Yes, I am at 0.
И скажи, принято.
And set it to
Скажи, у тебя
1.
батареи какое?
And what do you see on your display for the battery? It's 5.5. And for now, I can connect the
Да, хорошо.
container's handrail to the handrail on MRM2. Yes, that sounds good. So, got it. All right, we have one hook closed. And the second one, let me grab it. Is it long enough? Seems so. Unintelligible. I see. And you have opened it, right? Yes. It's not quite convenient to open it up with your hand.
Five hours, 13 minutes into this morning's spacewalk. The International Space Station is flying from northwest to southeast, led by Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut Aki Hoshide, who's the station commander, as the complex flies almost directly over Tokyo at an altitude of 260 miles. The two cosmonauts performing this morning's spacewalk, Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov, just jettisoned a container housing the discarded fluid flow regulator unit that was removed from the Zarya module and replaced with a new unit earlier today. The primary objective of this spacewalk continues to be the decommissioning and disconnecting of hardware from the Pirs docking compartment in preparation for its disposal and deorbiting later this summer following the launch of the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module.
And how did you copy us? Well, it was low frequency. Low frequency is important, absolutely. So I am suggesting, since you were working on a DC-1, you are going back to the low frequency panels, and together you disconnect them, and together with the cables you go over to PHO. And Pyotr, go back to plate 9, plate 4, and the connectors need to be carefully secured with a wire tie near the bracket. Sounds good. And we copy. And Oleg, after course, you will need to go to the EV hatch. Copy. Oleg, while you are still here, could you turn on U.S. lights for me? Headlights? Yes, of course. Pyotr, do you have Orlan lights up or not? And they're off. I turned them on only when we didn't have any sun. So let's try U.S. lights. And yes, Oleg, let Oleg help me out because I can't reach them fast enough. And I'm like trying to touch something and turn them on, and I can't really find the switch. And I can't find the switch either. Hold on. Now you were turning on mine. That's more comfortable to turn around like that. You're kind of floating away.
Они уже не должны сильно нажиматься. О, еще раз. О.
Okay, I need to push them harder. There we go.
Так, сейчас мне надо как-то снова забраться на эту.
Okay, and I need to climb up onto that plate somehow one more time. And I need to transition to the other side.
Так что теперь дать возможность.
Mark, you have a...
Суд Москвы для Олега.
Moscow.
Отвечай, Олег.
This is Oleg. Go ahead, Oleg.
А вы видео принимаете?
Are you receiving the video image?
Да, телевидение есть картинка.
Yes, we are.
Вот эти кабели.
I was wondering, those yellow cables, are these low-frequency cables?
Не из дырок, а из держателя.
Should we just
Нет, Олег.
remove them
Это низкочастотный курс, но
and
нигде от вируса
free them up?
мы...
Well, they are low-frequency, but, well, they will be going to PHO, right? To PGO, all the way up to FGB, and then secure them on the head to the handrail. Copy. Understood. Moscow, this is Pyotr. Are you seeing anything, receiving any images from plate 9? Yes, Pyotr.
As we approach the 5.5-hour mark in the spacewalk today by Novitskiy and Dubrov, Russian flight controllers at the Russian Mission Control Center outside of Moscow report a good test of the repositioned Core's automated rendezvous system cables that were disconnected from the Pirs docking compartment and reconnected to the transfer compartment on the Zvezda service module, where they are temporarily located until the arrival of the Naoka multipurpose laboratory module later this summer.
Maybe it's like to the left or to the right. Just, I don't know.
Немножко с другого ракурса постарался зайти.
And I tried to approach it from a slightly different angle.
Что я тебе могу сказать? К сожалению,
Well, what can I tell you?
сейчас темно, и у тебя одна...
It's pretty dark, and only one half of your lights is working. So, unfortunately,
большой, там все смутно.
we don't see much.
Я могу временно
Well, I can turn on Orlan's lights
будет ярче.
temporarily. Maybe it will be better. Well, maybe. Let me try turning them on.
Включил.
Turning them on.
Сейчас видно.
Can you see anything now?
О, сейчас поярче, да.
Yes, it's much better now.
109 хорошо закрыто, это мы наблюдаем.
And we see the valve, the caps that are tied there. Are these connector caps? The ones that are on me? Yes, on me. The ones that we had 3 connectors capped, and I secured them to myself.
Чтобы они не дернулись по дороге, когда пойдешь.
Just make sure they're secure. Just put them somewhere so that they don't grab onto something.
Там, где ты подвернул кабеля.
Where you adjusted the cable. I haven't turned the cables up. I haven't rolled them up yet. They are pretty loose right now. And I am putting the caps into the trash bags, my trash bag, and we'll continue working with the cables. And I'm turning off the Orlan lights. I got to the course plate. Do you see that? Yes, we do see that. And let me catch my breath for a second. And I see 3 connectors here. 30. And does it matter in what order I work with them? No, it does not. And I probably need to get a wire tie as well for that cable, right? Yes. The caps go into the trash bag. Pressing on. Moscow station. Moscow EV2. So it is
Ну да, я смотрел, она
P26 plate.
заворот хватит, чтобы под нее спрятать их разъемы, чтобы они не мешали, не проходили.
That's how I can hide the connectors. Yes, it's closer, so you may tuck them under the plate. Copy.
Которые они были обернуты, уже все рассыпается.
And the braiding here, it's falling apart. It's just disintegrating into small particles because of old age.
Так, расстыковал разъемы.
Connectors are demated.
Принято, Олег, соблюдали.
Yes, Oleg, we copy, and we were observing you.
5 hours, 41 minutes into the spacewalk. Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov are double-checking some of the connections on the Corps' automated rendezvous antenna cables that were disconnected from the Pirs docking compartment earlier in the spacewalk today and reconnected temporarily to connectors on the transfer compartment of the Zvezda service module. Everything has gone extremely well with the spacewalk. All of the objectives to disconnect critical hardware from the Pirs docking compartment have been accomplished. The crew still has other tasks on the docket, including the deployment of materials and biological experiment packages on the Poisk docking module. And we'll be standing by for further word on whether or not the crew will be pressing ahead with that work in the final stages of today's spacewalk that began at 12:53 a.m. Central Time, 1:53 a.m. Eastern Time. The first spacewalk, each for Novitskiy and Dubrov, the 238th in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades.
Moscow, everyone.
Отвечай, Олег.
Oleg, go ahead. Are you receiving my video right now? I'm on the circular handrails. I have 2112 and 2113 on the right. I could lay the cable between these two handrails and then secure it.
Олег, пропадание было.
Oleg, we had a drop in comm.
В сторону ФГБ тянуть.
So route the cable towards FGB. and secured to handrail 2121 or lower by the bracket 2111, where it will actually be better if you routed the cable that way. Okay, copy.
This is Mission Control Houston, 5 hours, 48 minutes into the spacewalk. Novitskiy and Dubrov have now wrapped up work with the Corps' automated rendezvous system antenna cables that were disconnected from the Piers docking compartment and reconnected to a variety of connection points at the transfer compartment of the Zvezda service module. Earlier, the high-frequency cables, as they are called, were all successfully relocated and tested, and Russian flight controllers reported good continuity with those temporarily repositioned cables. The crew went back and completed some of the work to reconnect low-frequency cables. So all that work now is complete, and the crew is pressing ahead with the removal of a gap spanner at the spacewalking ladder along the side of the Poisk module of the International Space Station.
Remove the gap spanner from the DC and take it with you. So get back to the docking compartment where you were before with the plate. And then use the circular handrails and I go towards Pyotr, correct? Oleg, what I propose right now, go back to the docking compartment where you demated your connectors. Use the circular handrail, go to the EV ladder. There will be a tether from the EV ladder to the service module. So you translate and along the circular handrail, along the cone, go to MRM2. Is it any more clear now? No, it's clear. I'm going towards the connector plates where I worked before and go towards the EV ladder also. Yes, that is correct. Moscow, EV2.
Отвечаем, Петр.
Go ahead, Pyotr.
Принимаете картинку?
Are you receiving my video?
В формате сбоку без дополнительных светильников что-то видим.
Yes, we can see something, but it's from the side. And it's also a bit dark. I'm going to turn on the light.
Так.
Да, но сами разъемы достаточно большие, они полностью туда.
The connectors are pretty large. I cannot really tuck them in completely. There are some cables there already, but I'm almost successful in tucking everything under the connector plate.
Чтобы они не торчали сильно.
So the cables from a course are not sticking out too much. That's a good decision. I approve, Pyotr.
Oleg. Yeah.
And Oleg?
А у тебя под правой рукой
under your right hand
от поручня наискосок
to the right catty corner of the handrail there is the
вот давай, наверное,
lanyard.
С той стороны просто.
So use the lanyard because it's easier to translate that way. This lanyard is only one and it's kind of shaky. Okay, use the handrails. I understand your concern.
Заодно посмотришь по кругу зону стыка СО и ПХО.
And you may inspect the DC to PHO interface at the same time. Copy. The mating surface, the ceiling surface is clean. Everything seems to be nominal.
Вот эту антенну как раз и
This
сегодня включали.
antenna was activated and tested today.
Понял. Я думаю, как лучше пройти на эту сторону.
Understood. I was just thinking how to go around it. Well, here there are two lanyards. There should be. I see one lanyard, so I could use it for translation.
Да. подвязал кабели курса.
Okay, I secured the course cables now.
Принято, Петр.
Copy, Pyotr.
Ну, мы тогда на СМ в районе 9-й платы все завершили с тобой.
So we are done with the plate number 9 on the service module. You may go towards MRM2. Yes, we are going to translate.
Плата, под которую заводил кабель, она прямо около перехода находится.
And here is the plate under which I tucked in the cable.
Ну, в принципе, вы готовили, где тесты выносливость рядом с люком.
Выносливость is close to the hatch. As you prepared, you could retrieve 2 samples close to the hatch and install them if you're ready. And if you have any strength left. Yes, I have some strength left. You sound convinced that you do.
Да, хотел спросить, мягкий поручень, который был параллельно поручню.
So the handrail that was parallel.
Закрепил на поручень возле выходного люка. Его
I'm now attached to the handrail close to the EV hatch.
Его заберем тоже внутрь.
And may I take that tether with me? Yes, you may take it inside the hatch. Just don't mix it up with the other tether.
Позже упаковать и для возврата на землю.
Because the other one will be packed and until we have the connector returned. I have here 602 MRM2 labeling on one of them. Okay, I'm at the EV ladder. Yes, I can see that.
С него тогда перейдешь на торочный СМ.
And from there, you may go to the service module handrails, demate the hook of the transfer tether. And we'll also take the lower tether and take it to MRM2. Is it all right that I'm only tethered by 2 hooks to the EVA ladder? 2 hooks on EVA ladder, that's enough tethering. Copy, thank you.
Ну, за якорь зафиксировать.
Also, you may use the foot restraint
Ближе к
to secure closer to the service module.
This is Mission Control Houston, just over 6 hours into today's spacewalk. Cosmonauts Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov are in the home stretch of this 6th spacewalk out of the International Space Station this year, the first for each of them in their careers, and the 238th in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. The crew working efficiently outside replaced a fluid flow regulator panel on the Zarya module, discarding the old unit in a container that was jettisoned aft of the International Space Station earlier this morning. And then the two cosmonauts went to work in the final decommissioning of the Pirs docking compartment after 20 years of service to the station as a docking port and a spacewalking airlock. They retracted the Strela telescoping boom from the Pirs docking compartment and stowed it alongside the Poisk module, from which they exited the International Space Station at 12:53 a.m. Central Time this morning. The two cosmonauts demated a series of antenna cables from the Pirs docking compartment, reconnecting them temporarily to the Zvezda service module. Those cables associated with the Corps' automated rendezvous system. Those cables were retested in their new location by Russian flight controllers, and everything checked out normally. They will ultimately be rehooked up to the newly arrived Naoka multipurpose laboratory module once it arrives at the station later this year. The cosmonauts are in the process of removing a gap spanner between the Pirs spacewalking ladder and the Zvezda service module, and we'll stand by and see whether or not time will allow the two cosmonauts to install a series of payloads on the outside of the Poisk module before they complete the spacewalk.
And also, you are going to do the test payload, panel 17.
Для теста у меня не будет двух точек страховки, у меня только один маленький ред.
But I do not have enough to secure the test hardware.
Хорошо, тогда
I don't have enough slack on that particular short cable.
Попробовать перецепить.
I will try to rehook my cutter to the large red and then use it for the test hardware. No, I'll put the test payload on the short tether. I have the выносливость RED connected to my RED. Copy. I have the racket wrench secured on large RED, and I have freed up a small RED. One more small RED. All right, and then test payload. And they are numbered here. So there should be a number 17 on the body. Actually, Pyotr, it's 17A, not 17. What's the battery voltage on the display? It's 25.4. Copy. Pyotr, I will have to give you a recommendation. So the battery is pretty drained. So if anything, your fan may die, the pump, and maybe even the comm. Yeah. It's going to be pretty unfortunate and lonely without that. Well, you need to turn on injector. You connect the electrical umbilical, switch the power to onboard power, and you have to press EVA's power on the EVA support panel. You will have to go back and to set up your power supply for the suit from onboard power. I copy all. And I am taking test 17R. Copy. It is not 17, it's 17A. We copy. All right, I got to the EV hatch, and I see somebody's legs there. These are mine. I'm trying to kind of get out a little bit. We didn't copy your last. I said that I got to the EV hatch, and I see Pyotr there. Copy. And I need to move into your direction. I can go up a little bit. All right. As far as I understand, I need to follow the same route as we did. No, Pyotr, no. Hold on. Hold your horses. Okay, so you are next to the EV hatch 1. Pyotr. Stays there, and I will give you the handrail numbers, because then there is also a double antenna, IR2R. Okay, next to the EV hatch. Right. Okay, so I probably still have to move up. Just tell me where to go. Let me try and pass by you. And there is a handrail, but let me think how I can secure myself. Well, let me move a little bit back to SM. Let me try. What if I move over here? Are you happy? Yes, it works. Am I in the way now? No, you aren't. And we are walking. Right. Moscow, EV2. Go ahead. All right, I am at the antenna installation location. Your handrail to install it is 6038. It's to the right of the antenna, and it is basically goes up between 6030 and 6031. It goes up perpendicular to them, and those go around the circumference of the module, and you will have to install 6039, the shortened gap spanner. Do you see it? Okay, I see 6039. Okay, so the lock. So the time for выносливость, we're going to leave for now. Test needs to be pointed with its lock in the direction of the antenna. All right, 6039, that's where test goes. Okay, so what do we install first? Выносливость before test? No, on 6039, you need to install test payload. After that, you install выносливость on 6038. But if I install test now, I'm not quite sure if there is enough room for выносливость. Well, we're not talking over each other. Okay. So выносливость is going to be looking away from the antenna, outwards. Right. Copy.
This discussion between the cosmonauts and Russian flight controllers involves the orientation of the Finalizing panels, this experiment that will be mounted on the side of the Poisk module to expose samples of materials for space application, thus studying the impact of the low Earth orbit environment on the mechanical properties of certain materials, assessing their strength on the Russian segment pressurized shell structural elements.
Oleg, are you close to the hatch? I am. I am next to the EV hatch. So do you see that umbilical?
The cosmonauts are also in the process of installing another payload called the test payload on the Poisk module for exposure of microbiological specimens delivered from Earth to study the impact of the low Earth orbit environment on the viability of microflora. These two final payload installation activities should wrap up the spacewalk for today. Russian flight controllers in Korolyov reporting that the two cosmonauts did in fact complete the removal of a gap spanner that was the last piece of hardware on the Pirs docking compartment. It was removed from a spacewalking ladder on Pirs that was in close proximity to the Poisk module of the International Space Station.
Copy. And then...
So that gap spanner is now removed from the spacewalking ladder on the Pirs docking compartment. It was stowed on the outside of the Zvezda service module and will be reinstalled once the Naoka multipurpose laboratory module is launched and arrives at the space station later this year.
So do I need to tighten it with the ratchet wrench, or is hand tightening enough? Mostly by hand and one...
So all of the hardware elements from the Pirs docking compartment that needed to be removed prior to its undocking and disposal later this year have been in fact removed and relocated or stowed. So the Pirs now is fully decommissioned and ready to be removed from the International Space Station by the ISS Progress 77 cargo ship later this year after the Naoka multipurpose laboratory module is launched.
All right, I am at the EV hatch.
The spacewalk now is 6 hours and 22 minutes in duration. The two cosmonauts are completing the installation of these two experiment packages on the outside of the Poisk module, after which it is expected that they will be instructed to wrap up their work, take inventory of their tools and tethers, and make their way back inside the Poisk module airlock.
All right, I have the swing nut tightened with the ratchet wrench, and I have the rat inside. Copy.
Петр, снимаешь карабин с большой...
Pyotr, remove large hook of the safety rat from the test handle and carefully, one by one, unscrew unintelligible and screw in unintelligible. Copy. So I did get the notification that the cartridge is almost used up, and I got the same. And I am in MRM2. So what should I take? Test or выносливость? Take both. EV2 is here. Pyotr, you got the message that the cartridge life is limited, but this is due to the time that it's been operational. It's nominal work time is 9 hours, and it's been working for 10, hence the message. We copy. Just an FYI, Moscow, that we got that message. Well, good. Thank you for reporting. Okay, I have the first sample installed, but it's very close to unintelligible. EV1. I have secured test to large red and one transport tether.
Нормально, хорошо.
Sounds like a good plan. Copy. And we also have выносливость secured with a small red and transportation tether. Sounds good. I have both payloads secured. Now I am egressing MRM2. Copy. No joy. Okay, I'm out from EV hatch 1. That's for EV1. Come again, Moscow. We did not copy your last. So your translation path should be the same as the one that you used at the beginning of your spacewalk. We copy. Oleg, when you pass under the strut that goes under the handrail of the EV hatch 2, there in the direction of the PHO there is a circular handrail, and that's where you need to install the payload. Oleg, careful.
We've now hit the 6.5-hour mark in the spacewalk by Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov. A highly successful spacewalk. The two cosmonauts are putting the final touches on the installation of a pair of payload packages on the outside of the Poisk module, one called the test experiment that measures the exposure of microbiological specimens to study the impact of the low Earth orbit environment on the viability of microflora, and the installation of an experiment called Finalizing, the latest in a series of experiments that has carried this name throughout the years. Finalizing, the Russian word for endurance. These panels attached now to the outside of the Poisk module to measure the effect of low Earth orbit environment effects on a variety of different materials. All of the work associated with the disconnection of equipment and the removal of equipment from the Pirs docking compartment, first launched in September of 2001 to the International Space Station. All of that work is complete. The two cosmonauts removed a Strela telescoping boom from Pirs, relocated it and stowed it on the Poisk module, now being used as an airlock for Russian spacewalks. And they demated a series of antenna cables for the Corps' automated rendezvous system from the Pirs, relocating those cables to a temporary location on the Zvezda service module, where they were checked out and deemed to be operational for the time being by Russian flight controllers. They will be hooked up later to the newly arrived Naoka multipurpose laboratory module once it makes its way to the International Space Station later this year.
And Vinoslivsk is pretty big. It is right. We have Vinoslivsk secured temporarily. And Vinoslivsk is going to be pointing in the direction of FGB, but the wing nut should be pointing in the direction of MRM2, and I'm not quite sure I can hold it. And what? We didn't copy your last. I wouldn't be able to secure it. The wing nut is going to be pointing in the direction of MRM2. Well, How did you copy? EV1. Oleg, there was a comm dropout. We didn't copy your last. I'm saying that if we install Finalizing pointing towards the FGB module, then the wing nut is going to be pointing in the direction of MRM2, and it's going to be really hard for me to secure it. Well, not literally in the direction of FGB. It needs to have the samples pointing up. So this wing nut or the latch needs to be pointing in the direction of MRM2, but the payload itself should be pointing up. Pointing up. I'm not sure if we can install it like that. It can only be pointed to the side. Well, that's what we're talking about. If it's pointing towards 6007, no, only towards the horizon, and let it be so. I can see it. Install it on the handrail. Copy and work. And preferably at the lower part of the handrail. And the wing nut allows you to do so. All right, I have Finalizing installed. Hand tightened it. And I am taking out the ratchet wrench. I have it tightened with the ratchet wrench 1/4 of a turn. And Finalizing payload has been successfully installed. Copy. Take the safety tethers. Translate to the EVA hatch. Yes, I'm close to the hatch. The latch has operated. Copy. Okay, now look at the other handrail here. If you can see how it is secured. Okay, I moved away a little bit from the handrail. I think I will remove the small red. It's just in the way right now. Of course. So how about the ratchet wrenches? Do I need to tighten Yes. 1/4 turn, please.
This is Mission Control Houston, 6 hours, 40 minutes into the spacewalk by Novitskiy and Dubrov. The final installation of these two payload packages all but complete at the Poisk module of the International Space Station, after which the two cosmonauts will begin to wrap up the collection of their tools and tethers and make their way back inside Poisk, close the hatch. That will mark the end of this spacewalk in terms of elapsed time. They'll take a few minutes to make sure that all of their suit checkouts are completed with the Russian flight control team in Korolyov. You're looking at a live view from a balcony camera at their International Space Station flight control room on the outskirts of Moscow. Then the repressurization of the Poisk airlock will begin. The Russian spacewalks are measured from hatch open to hatch close. So once the hatch is closed and we get an official hatch closure time, we'll have a series of statistics for you before we wrap up today's coverage. Just a programming reminder, as this spacewalk draws to a close, work is ongoing down at the Kennedy Space Center in preparation for the launch tomorrow of a Falcon 9 rocket by SpaceX to send the next cargo ship to the international outpost. The Cargo Dragon is loaded with some 7,000 pounds of supplies, scientific experiments, and the first pair of IROSA solar arrays. IROSA stands for ISS roll-up solar arrays. They will be installed during a pair of spacewalks in a couple of weeks by Thomas Pesquet and Shane Kimbrough on the P6 truss to provide power augmentation for the 2B and 4B power channels, 2 of the 8 power channels on the station. In all, these IROSA arrays 6 of them will be installed to augment 6 of the 8 power channels on the International Space Station. The next 2 pairs of arrays will be installed after they are delivered on future SpaceX cargo delivery missions in 2022. And as you saw from the graphic a moment ago, launch coverage for the Dragon cargo vehicle from the Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A will begin at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. Launch time 1:29 p.m. Eastern Time. An instantaneous launch window. The weather forecast calls for a 60% chance for favorable weather.
Can you see it now? Yes, we can. So I can install it? Not yet. Rotate it clockwise like this? Yes. Just like this. It will be easier for you to work with the wing screw anyway. Copy.
Ты находишься у выходного люка, насколько я понимаю, да?
So you are by the EV hatch? Yes, that is correct.
который рядом справа от него. Вижу его на машине 127.
I can see handrail 6027. Copy. Okay, please look around if you left anything. If there is any stray item present. I removed the large red. I'm going to use the wrench to tighten the hardware and pull through this particular tether, the large one. Okay, I tightened using the ratchet wrench. I'm removing the equipment transport tether.
Ну и по очереди образцы выкрутите из корпуса и вкрутите в рукоятку.
And then take the samples one by one.
Чтобы не перекосило в резьбе.
Just be careful to observe the proper alignment. Copy. So I do not use the ratchet wrench for the samples. No, just hand tighten. Copy. Do I need to press on? No. If you encounter too much resistance, don't continue. And we can observe you now. We have good video. Number 2, I cannot unscrew it yet.
Знаешь, я видел у Петра тоже что-то он...
Pyotr had issues also.
Кто там? Да, там несколько раз он...
Maybe because of the cord. Yes, you are correct.
And it seems that it's welded in here.
This is Mission Control Houston, 6 hours, 50 minutes now into the spacewalk by Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov. They are in the home stretch of their work, soon to re-enter the Poisk module, to close the hatch and mark the official end of this excursion, the first for each of these two cosmonauts. In case you're wondering about the duration of the spacewalk and how it ranks amongst the longest in history, we're not even close to the longest Russian spacewalk. That was accomplished back on February 2nd, 2018 by Alexander Mazurkin and Anton Shkaplerov during Expedition 54, in which they worked for 8 hours and 13 minutes during a Russian spacewalk to replace an electronics box on the Zvezda service module's Lyra or high gain antenna. That is currently the longest Russian spacewalk in history. The longest spacewalk ever in the history of human spaceflight, 8 hours and 56 minutes on March 11th, 2001 by Jim Voss and Susan Helms during the STS-102 mission, in which they configured cables for the arrival of a pressurized mating adapter and installed a cradle assembly on the truss of the station in preparation for the delivery of the U.S. laboratory Destiny.
The sample is slipping sideways away from the thread. Oleg, stand by, please. We're going to discuss it. Okay.
Вот по твоему ощущению, насколько ты выворачиваешь оборотов? 1, 1,5, 2?
How many twists did you think you did? 1, 1.5, 2? According to your own impression. I did one turn incomplete and then go sideways. So it moved away from the attachment point a bit? Yes.
Ну что ж, у него страховка есть в этом плане, шнур.
But we do have a feed-through.
Может быть, еще одну попытку сделай.
Let's do one more try.
Верни назад побольше, не до того момента, как он выпадает.
Go back on the turns.
Может, заход изменится.
And maybe try a different approach.
Попробуй сейчас еще вернуть.
I will try one more time to screw it in.
Ну вот 1,5 оборота.
1.5 twists.
Принято.
And I'm back to where I was before. Copy.
На заворачивание приложи.
Apply some pressure when you twist.
Вот ты его так туда чуть-чуть впрессуешь и оставляем так.
And leave it like that. Apply pressure when you twist it in.
Патрон СО2. Ну вот, подвернул его чуть-чуть.
Okay, I did
Все, оставляем в таком виде.
make it another turn.
Так, у меня что-то высок потеет.
And leave it like this. Okay, my face is getting sweaty for some reason.
Всю страховку, которую использовали.
So are we going back? Okay, take the hardware you used and translate back to the EV hatch. Copy.
Петр, пока Олег подходит,
Pyotr, while Oleg
сверить наличие
is
инструмента
translating,
на свингарме.
please check what you have on the swing arm. Join tool audit. I have ratchet range. I have the winged screws. If you want me to count them, I can count. I have one red with large hook. For sure, there should be 4 reds. 1 red is used by the camera. 2 short reds are used to secure the tools, and 1 for ratchet range, and 1 is securing the cutter. That is correct.
Ты еще не входил в люк? На обрезе стоишь?
Did you ingress the hatch? No, I'm still standing here in between.
Хорошо.
Okay. Because I'm the one supposed to close the hatch. Okay, copy.
Так, подошел к обрезу выходного люка.
I'm close to the EV hatch opening.
Брось быстро взгляд на свой инструмент.
Okay, look at your tools and please confirm that you have everything on OTA. Copy.
Так, камеру на одном рейте застрахована.
I have the camera secured, ratchet range on the other red tether, and I have a large red and a small red tether. 2 safety tethers, and basically that's it. Copy. That's good. Oleg, you may ingress. MRM2. Copy.
This is Mission Control Houston, 7 hours and counting now in the spacewalk this morning by Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov as they are about to make their way inside the Poisk airlock and will close the hatch shortly thereafter to wrap up today's excursion.
So it's not in the way?
The spacewalk began at 12:53 a.m. Central Time with the opening of the hatch to Poisk. The 2 cosmonauts made their way outside and made very efficient work throughout all of the tasks associated with this 6th spacewalk outside of the International Space Station this year. They replaced a fluid flow regulator panel on the Zarya module, discarded the old fluid flow regulator, which was put inside a airtight container and jettisoned manually aft of the International Space Station about midway through the spacewalk. Then they went to work in the final decommissioning of the Pirs docking compartment, retracting the Strela telescoping boom from Pirs and stowed it alongside the Poisk module. It will be used later on after the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module arrives at the International Space Station, taking the place of Pirs, which will undock from the Earth-facing port of the Russian segment of the International Space Station by the Progress 77 cargo ship, which will then use its engines to deorbit itself and Pirs into a fiery demise over the Pacific Ocean. The 2 cosmonauts demated a series of antenna cables associated with the Corps' automated rendezvous system from Pirs and stowed them, reattaching them to connector panels on the transfer compartment on the Zvezda service module. They checked out just fine in their temporary location and removed a gap spanner between the Pirs spacewalking ladder and the small diameter section at the forward end of the Zvezda service module. With that, all of the activities associated with the disconnection and dismantling of equipment for the Pirs docking compartment now complete, setting the stage for its undocking in July following the launch of Nauka on a Proton rocket from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The 2 cosmonauts also installed a pair of payloads on the Poisk module, material science payload and a biological payload to test the rigors of the low Earth orbit environment on those particular materials and payloads.
On the top, yes, the one on the top. So when you are inside the station, you may use 1 tether for securing yourselves. I have ingressed. Copy.
Все, сублиматоры выключаете.
Turn off the sublimators. Copy.
So the two cosmonauts are back inside the Poisk airlock. We'll be standing by for the hatch closure, which will mark the official elapsed time completion of today's spacewalk, after which we'll have statistics for you.
The cooling is off and the drying is on.
The cosmonauts completed all of the tasks that were on the timeline for today's activities, the 238th spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades.
EV1 temperature control handle is also in position 3.
Так, ребята,
Guys,
каждому из вас нужно выключить
each of you,
камеру на шлемную.
both of you should deactivate your helmet video cameras.
Обычная камера пусть пока работает.
And the other video camera can be still working. Copy that.
Я сейчас выключу.
I will do it.
Если ты немножко вниз опустишься, могу я тебе помочь.
And if you go a little bit lower, I could help you.
Все, выключу.
Okay, my camera should be off. Copy.
Pyotr, пока
Pyotr,
сушитесь,
while you're drying out, you can prepare to close the hatch,
снять защитное кольцо,
remove the protective ring,
сложить
and stow it
поручень.
under the handrail.
Вступаю в снятие защитного кольца.
Copy. I'll start removing the protective ring.
Снизу флажок снял. Так, и здесь снял.
And
Я держу. Назад немножко.
let me move back a little bit.
Держу кольцо.
And I've got the ring. Got it?
Вот это силище, тут я понимаю.
Well, if you increase this one, that would be good.
Убираю кольцо под поручень.
And I'm putting the protective ring under the handrail.
Принято.
Copy.
Даже пока еще наблюдаем.
And we can even see that for now.
Смотри, пожалуйста, если позволяет освещение, уплотнить.
Well, if the light is enough, could you please check the ceiling on the hatch?
Да, это будет непросто. С моей стороны, я смотрю.
And from my side, I am
Принято.
checking it out, and everything looks good. Copy.
До середины нормально.
And it looks pretty good till the middle point. Copy.
Хорошо. Ждем сушки окончания.
And let's stand by for the end of dry out.
Видно небольшую часть.
And
Около петель.
I checked it
Все хорошо.
near the attachment points of the hatch, and everything looks good.
This is Mission Control Houston. The two cosmonauts are inside the Poisk airlock, the hatch not yet closed. So the clock continues to run, now 7 hours, 13 minutes, 46 seconds in duration. They're waiting for their suits to dry out. This is standard operating procedure. Once the hatch is closed, we'll get confirmation of that from the Russian flight control team outside of Moscow, and that will mark the official end of today's spacewalk.
And now, please release the reds and remove the tether from the end of the bracket. All right. And let's check that everything's clear and nothing got caught there. And then key in the operational position. And we have the flag in operational position. Please continue monitoring the rollers and please continue pressing. Do not release the arm. Oleg, could you please push me towards the hatch a little bit? There we go. Do you want me to push a little bit? Yes, please. And the rollers are moving. Wait, red from one of the wrenches got caught. Could you push down a little bit? Almost 23, a little bit more. And it's moving back out. That's what I'm saying. Please make sure that you do not let the handle go. The moment you decrease the force applied to it, it will try and rotate back. Okay, I need to probably rotate in the other direction and just turn. How? There we go. I heard the click. Try one more time, just to make sure. Seems like... And 2 clicks, and it's on. Copy. And please remove the wrench. And guys, congratulations. Wait, we need to get out of the suit. It's not the end of the day. Hey, that's for other specialists to take over and say congrats to you. I'm handing you over. Thank you. Oleg, this is Pyotr. Oleg, Pyotr, this is Dmitry. All right, let's get ready for repress. Slowly but steadily. Let's do it. Get in the same configuration. Pyotr is going to be working with the ODF, and Oleg is going to be a little bit closer to the controls. And please prep cue card 9, and even maybe cue card 10. Oleg.
This is Mission Control Houston. The Russian flight control team in Korolyov has now confirmed that the hatch is closed on the Poisk module airlock at the International Space Station. Hatch closure occurring at 8:12 a.m. Central Time, 9:12 a.m. Eastern Time, bringing to an end this spacewalk with an elapsed time of 7 hours, 19 minutes. Again, the hatch closure officially marked at 8:12 a.m. Central Time, 9:12 a.m. Eastern Time. The spacewalk concluding with an elapsed time of 7 hours, 19 minutes. We'll have updated statistics for you in just a moment, but this 238th spacewalk in support of the International Space Station now having concluded.
Okay. Cue card. All right, have cue card 10 ready. Step 3, and Mark closed all PHO hatches. He repressed the airlock, and you can start with step 3, EV hatch closure. That's what you already performed, and we wrote down the time. And the next step will be MRM2 repress up to 260 millimeters from PHO. We copy. Dima, our hands are tired, and leafing through all those cue cards. Would you just guide us through? All right, I'll talk you through. As far as I understand, Pyotr is already already has the procedure, but I will talk you through it. So MRM2 repress up to 260 millimeters from PHO. KSD2 closed. KSD valve closed. KSD DC is closed. And we confirm that the PHO hatches are closed. KVD valve for PHO is enabled. Copy. You can press. Next one. And then what KVD? It's KVD PHO SU enabled. KVD PHO SU open. We have the LED illuminated for КВД ПХОСУ open. And please start the timer. The timer has been started. And once you reach the pressure of 260 millimeters, please send КВД ПХОСУ close command. 250? No, 260. Monitoring the pressure, and you can also repress per step 3 in MRM2 and in the suits. Copy. 70 in the module. 2.8 for the first one, 0.27 for the second. Sounds good, guys. All right, 100 in the module, 0.24 for the first.
This is Mission Control Houston. The repressurization of the Poisk module airlock is underway. Just minutes after the hatch was closed by Oleg Novitskiy and Pyotr Dubrov to bring to an end their spacewalk for the day at 7 hours and 19 minutes. Here are the statistics. This was the 238th spacewalk in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. The 6th spacewalk conducted out of the International Space Station this year, and the 2nd conducted out of Poisk in history, the first having taken place last November. For both Novitskiy and Dubrov, this was their first spacewalk of their careers. And of course, 7 hours, 19 minutes, their total. The 238 spacewalks in support of the space station's lifetime now have totaled 1,499 hours and 13 minutes of spacewalking time, which is the equivalent of 62 days, 11 hours, and 13 minutes of spacewalking time in the history of the International Space Station. This was the first of several spacewalks planned for Expedition 65, and of course this one out of the Poisk today, totaling 7 hours, 19 minutes. There will be more to come, of course, as the Expedition 65 increment continues. The next activity on the docket is tomorrow. That is the scheduled launch from the Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A of the Cargo Dragon spacecraft on the CRS-22 mission to the International Space Station. NASA television coverage beginning at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for a launch at 1:29 p.m. Eastern Time.